tripod headstands, shoulder stands, and plow poses. Oh my! Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of On the Mat. With us coming back for one more session this week is Lyndalou. Outside of teaching yoga, Lyndalou is extremely active on the beach. She teaches SUP yoga and is a wake surfing instructor.
What I love about SUP yoga is it combines two of my loves, being in the water and yoga. Water is like a grounding place for me. Like I find it really peaceful. I just feel very at ease in the water.
Lyndalou is going to take us into our inversion-based theme that we were exploring from last week. We were doing headstands in the essential and intermediate class, and the basic class exploring shoulder stands and plow poses. I thought then it would be very clever to call this week the Head and Shoulders Week. So begin your practice in child's pose position with your feet and knees together on the mat and resting the hips over the ankles as you lengthen the spine to bring the head down to the mat in front of you. Arms down the length of your body and palms facing upwards. Connect with your breath. Inhale expansion of the rib cage in all directions. Exhale, pulling navel inwards towards your spine, moving the belly away from your thigh. When you're ready to move, hands on the mat in front of you, rising up to a tabletop pose, a hands and knees position. And we begin to move with the breath. Inhale, start to arch your spine. Look up as you lift your tailbone. Bring the belly downwards and the chest forwards. Exhale, round your back. Drop the chin down, tailbone between the legs. And broad shoulders as you press the heart away from the mat. Let's inhale and arch the body again. Good. Connecting each and every movement with the breath. Exhale and rounding. Beautiful. Inhale again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Last one. Inhale. Let's take your deepest, longest breath. Look up as you lift your tailbone. On the exhale, come back to a neutral spine position. Spine is straight. Stay with the breath here. Good. And you want to actively push the heart away from the mat. And with broad shoulders. Palms are always flat. Fingertips slightly spread. Try to keep the weight on the base of the fingers underneath the knuckles and stay lighter on the heels of the palms. Your legs are active as well. You hug the knees inwards gently towards each other. And firmness with every inhale to create lengthening of the body. And on the exhale to find and establish your rooting and foundations. From your neutral spine pose, now step your left knee and right knee back to take it to a half plank. Lower the hips down until the body is a straight line. From your knees to the crown of the head. And keep the arms straight. Keep the arms straight. Okay. Stay in your half plank pose. Maintain that beautiful engagement in the front body. Good. Firmness in the front body. Broad across your shoulders. Active push of the heart away from the mat. And then we are going to go down to a knees, chest, chin position from here. So Astanga Pranam. Keep the buttocks in the air. Find the lift of the tailbone. Manage the body weight as you bend the elbows. Come all the way down to the mat. Keep the elbows hugging close. Chin forward on the mat. And to increase the stretch, you might even be actively pulling the heart away from your chin and finding more lift in your tailbone. Good. This stretches out the front line of your body. When you're ready, lower the hips down. Send your legs back. Keep the legs active, pointing the toes, and the feet are about hip width distance. Inhale, the heart lifts. Good. In a baby cobra, let's lower down, not so high. Just the heart lifting. Keep your belly on the mat. Start to become lighter on your hands. Good. And we work on activating the back line of the body. So when you're ready, even start to lift the hands slightly off the mat. Beautiful. Elbows hugging close. Shoulder blades draw together behind you. Lower back long. You lengthen the tailbone towards your feet and you keep the legs active. You lift the kneecaps as if you were trying to press the feet downwards towards the mat. And lastly, remember to hug your legs gently inwards towards each other. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 with the hands on the mat. Gently, gently push your way up again to tabletop pose. And from tabletop pose, let's do the half plank shape again. So send your knees back, lower the hips, body is a straight line. Keep the arms straight and keep the shoulders broad, actively pushing everything away from the mat. Good. So with the next movement, instead of knees, chest, chin, let's explore a chaturanga dandasana from this position. So bend your elbows, pull the body forward, and then keep the elbows stacked over the wrist. Don't lose the front line engagement of the body. Still there is a toning of the belly, a connection between ribs and hips. And don't allow the shoulders to drop below the elbows. Good. From here, upward facing dog, arms straight, opening the chest. So in upward dog, this is different from cobra because we want to try our best to maintain the lift of the hips away from the mat. There is a strong activation in the muscles of our back to achieve this. So pick up the hips and then the chest nice and open as you roll shoulders back. Bring them down away from the ears. You want your shoulders stacked above the wrists as best as you can. Lastly, it could be a lifted gaze and even a lifted chin with an open throat. But if that hurts the neck, then level the head forwards instead. And from here, let's rock back gently to tabletop pose. Good. Walking left knee, right knee back to a half plank shape. And then for the last and final round, you will have the knees off the mat. This takes you to a full plank pose. Feel free to continue to practice with your knees on the mat for a half plank. Find the variation that suits your practice because we need to hold. So again, palms flat, arms straight, shoulders broad, front body connection, strong glutes to maintain length of lower back, drop tailbone, and then keep lifting those kneecaps. Your legs are not lazy. Lastly, hug your legs inwards towards each other until you feel you only have one leg. Push forward from the heels like a tiptoe as you push back with the arms. Good. Elbows bent. Let's come down to chaturanga with straight legs. Same practice. Push back, plank pose. Second one, let's come down, chaturanga. Take your option of knees on the mat. Push up, plank pose. Take your option of plank on your knees. Third one, come down, is an exhale. Good. Pushing up. Fourth one, come down. Good. Pushing up. Let's do one last round today. Come down to chaturanga. And let's do an upward facing dog. Good. Exhale to down dog pose with a straight spine. And here, go ahead, paddle out your feet, left and right, heels and toes. One knee bent, opposite leg straight. We are switching and switching. Maybe sway the hips side to side like a dog wagging a tail. One shoulder towards the mat at a time. When you're ready, let's come up on tiptoes, both feet straight, legs finding the height of your hips, bringing belly closer towards the thigh as you lift your tailbone. Exhale, knees to chest and looking forwards. Next breath, you step carefully to the front of your mat. Left foot, right foot forwards. Good. From a halfway lift, look up and lengthen the body. Now separate the feet about hip width distance. Pada Hastasana. You are going to slide the hands, palms facing up, underneath the feet, and bring the toes all the way to the creases of your wrists. Good, and take a breath in, look up and lengthen the spine. Feel free to keep the knees slightly bent so as to achieve this. Now the exhale, gently bring the belly downwards towards the thigh, chest towards knee, chin towards shin. Bring the weight forward on the feet so you bring some weight into the hands. Good, and your arms are trying to pull themselves out from underneath the feet, and this creates a beautiful stretch of the wrists and releases tension from the earlier practice. Once again, those of us that have really tight hamstrings, you can keep the knees slightly bent at this point so as to maintain a safe and healthy lengthening in the spine and to prevent the overstretch of the hamstrings. When you're ready, release the hands out from underneath the feet. And let's take a halfway lift. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, forward bending. Let's come down. Good. Inhale, rise up to standing, giving the arms a big, beautiful, stretching upwards with the breath. Exhale, bring hands down to the mat and forward bend again. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And please step your left foot to the back of the mat. All the way back for a low lunge pose. Left knee comes down, low lunge pose. And then arms go up, open chest, open shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper into your lunge. Good. Stay and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands down to the mat and take the right foot. It goes back to a three-legged dog position. Inhale, rise upwards. Now bring the right knee to chest in a tuck. Find your tiger curl. Stay broad across the shoulders. Keep the right heel as close to the hip as you can. Good. Maybe even forehead touching the knee in this pose. Again, this creates broad shoulders, strong protraction movement in the scapula. Stay feeling this beautiful, beautiful recruitment of all the muscles in the shoulder girdle. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Please bring the right foot in front of you on the mat. And let's rise up. This time it is a high lunge pose. Arms up, open chest, open shoulders. Stay with the breath and lengthen up on the inhalation. Again, sink on the exhale. Go as deep as your body is able to maintain. A beautiful length of the lower back. A strong lift of the back knee. A firm push from the back heel. And a bracing of the muscles that stabilize your hip. Outer hips hugging inwards. Good. Today you keep your ribs in the body. You maintain the front body connection just like in plank. And you work to actively lengthen the arms upwards. That'll do. Place hands down to the mat. Now both legs straight. Back heel can ground inwards towards the center line. Again, take a halfway lifting. Inhale, look up. And we forward bend. Exhale, belly towards thigh, chest towards knee, and chin towards shin. We find the pyramid pose or Parsvottanasana and continue to find more length in hamstring. Using the breath. The inhalation creates more length, and the exhale deepens the stretch. Good. Let's come up to a halfway lift. Inhale, look up, and start to walk the hands as far back away from the front foot as possible. Tuck the chin to the chest and see if the forehead can touch your knee. Push strongly into all 10 fingers. Press and create the firm shoulder engagement again. Bring your left knee into the chest gently in a tuck and see if today your left foot can leave the mat so that you are balanced on all 10 fingers and the straight right leg. Good. This is a humble flamingo posture. You can modify by keeping your left foot on the mat and just bringing the left knee to the chest. And when you're ready, release. And then walk the hands to the front of the mat. Let's do a halfway lift. Step the back foot forwards to the front of the mat and look up with the lengthening of the body. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, rise up to standing and reach and lengthen. Arms open. Exhale, we come back down, forward bending. Good, then a halfway lift. Inhale, looking upwards. Exhale, now step your right foot back for a low lunge pose. So right knee comes down. Good, and the arms go up to lengthen on the inhalation. And to sink on the exhale creates a stretch in the front glute and the hip flexor of the back leg. Good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, place hands down. Extending left foot, three-legged dog. Inhale, rise up and lengthen the body. Exhale, find your tuck position. The knee to the chest, the heel to the hip. The shoulders stacked above the wrist. The forehead trying your best to touch the knee. Strong front line of the body. Beautiful engagement experienced all the way from the hip flexor to the belly, to your strong shoulders and broad chest. And that'll do. Set your left foot on the mat in front of you. High lunge pose. Inhale, Ashta Chandrasana. Again, with the breath, lengthen upwards on the inhalation and deepen the stretching on the exhalation. Lower body is firm and open. Lower back has length and space. Arms are actively lengthening upwards. Beautiful. Avoid tensing the inner shoulder or neck and instead focus on lengthening up through the outer arms. Stay for a few breaths. Good. And that'll do. Placing hands down to the mat, front leg straight. Back heel grounding inwards. And hips are squaring actively here. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. Take a breath in, look up. Take a breath out and come down. Deep into the stretching of your left leg. Karnapidasana, pyramid pose. Good, that will do. Halfway lifting again, look up, lengthen, walk the fingertips back. Tuck the chin to the chest and forehead touching the knee. Push strongly into the fingertips and then you have the option to just bring the right knee into the chest. But if you can, lift your right foot up, then bring the heel close to the hip like what Lyndalou is doing. This takes you to the expression of humble flamingo posture. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release back to pyramid shape. Beautiful practice, Linda. Walk your hands forward, step the back foot forwards to the front. Take a halfway lift. Inhale, looking upwards. Good. Exhale, forward bending. Inhale, we rise up to standing. Give the arms another big, beautiful stretch upwards. Exhale, we come down with the breath, forward bend. Good. Halfway lift. Look up, lengthen the body. Step your left foot back. Exhale to high lunge pose. Inhale, arms up, open chest, open shoulders. Good. With the breath, exhale, bring your hands to the heart. And you are going to be balancing on the right leg. Rock the body forwards to warrior 3. Lifting the left foot carefully off the mat. Staying with your squared hips. If there is any discomfort in the right knee or tight right hamstring, it is perfectly fine to keep the foundation leg slightly bent. You work here on the length you are trying to create from the back foot to the crown of the head, pointing or flexing that foot. Beautiful. Place the right hand to the hip. Slowly rise up to standing but stay balancing on the right leg. Swing the left leg forward and catch the big toe with the peace fingers and thumb of the right hand. Good, you can take the option to hold the knee instead. Otherwise, take a breath in, pull that left shoulder, left hip back. Exhale as you pull left shoulder, left hip back. Extend left leg forwards in the opposite direction. Good. Come to Mukta Hasta Sirsasana. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Can I invite you to take this into an eagle pose, Garudasana. So wrap your left leg over the right leg slowly. Good. Curl the toes of one foot behind the shin of the other. Knees start to bend as if sitting in a chair. Good. Now wrap the left arm underneath the right arm slowly, carefully, and with control. And see if the fingers of one hand can reach the palm of the other. Explore this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. As you unwrap the legs, send your left leg upwards as you bring the hands downwards, standing split position. Good. We have created stretch across the shoulders. Now awaken at the glute and the back line of your body, your posterior chain, actively finding the height of that left leg today. But avoid lifting your left glute. Stay active, so lift the kneecap, top leg straight. Stay active, don't lose the height of your left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release for a halfway lift. Look up, inhale, walk the hands forward, stack them underneath the shoulders. Exhale, tiptoe the right foot, send the hip forward. Take a small hop back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Good, beautiful transition. Inhaling up. Exhaling, downward facing dog with a straight spine. Inhale, come up on tiptoes. Exhale, knees to chest, look forwards. Let's try to hop forwards. Inhale, both legs together at the front of the mat. Feel free to just walk forwards if that feels nicer. Exhale, forward bend. Good. Inhale up to standing if the arms are big. Beautiful, stretching upwards. Exhale, bring hands back down for another forward bend. And then take a halfway lift. Inhale. Good. Step the right foot back. Exhale for a high lunge pose. Inhale, arms go up. Strong front leg, straight back leg. Exhale, hands to heart. Take your time, no rush. Lean the body weight forward. Find the balancing here. Right foot starts to float. Active with the right leg. Lengthening with the entire body. The more you create that lengthening, the more you are engaging deep core muscles. Experience that as a lightness in the pose. A beautiful feeling of upliftment in the body. Good. Left hand to the hip. Swing the right leg forward. Catch it with the left peace fingers and thumb, the big toe. Option to just hold the knee in this position, or if you grab the big toe, take a breath in, pull shoulders and hips back to keep them squared. Exhale, maintain squareness and extend. Your leg does not have to be fully extended like what Lyndalou is doing. You can take the option to keep the knee slightly bent. Find the variation, the modification that will suit your practice today. Garudasana, eagle pose. Bend both knees, wrapping the right leg over the left carefully and see if the toes can curl behind the shin. Wrapping the arms carefully. Right arm goes underneath the left arm and see if the fingers can go into the palm. And broaden across the shoulders, lengthening the neck. Feet, knees, elbow, wrists, vertical. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1, extending the right foot back, slowly, slowly, unwrapping the arms, standing split. Good. Urdhva Prasarita Eka Padasana. Awakening the muscles along the back and your glutes. Strong, strong legs and lengthening up as high as you can. Beautifully deepening the stretch in the bottom hamstring as well. And when you're ready, halfway lifting, inhale, walk the hands forward to keep them stacked underneath your shoulders. Exhale, tiptoe, hips up. And then take a small hop back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Good. Inhaling, up dog, Cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog with a straight spine. Beautiful position. Come up on tiptoes. Inhale. Exhale, knees to chest, look forwards. With the next breath, jump through to a seated position on the mat. Or just jump the feet forward and sit down. Good. And with the feet down on the mat, let's begin a flow-based practice that will help us prep, engaging the necessary muscles, both in the front line as well as in your posterior chain. Alternating front and back body engagement. So let's start with the boat pose or Navasana. Bend your knees, bring the feet in close to the hips. Good, belly towards thigh and then chest is open. So the spine straight is your priority. You lift the shins off the mat, make them parallel for the first round of your practice. Knees bent. Hug your thighs together so that you only have one leg. Bring the belly closer towards your thighs so that you feel the balancing and foundation on the sit bones, not on the tailbone. Stay holding the shins with the hands or extend your arms forward. Good, fully supported by your strong, strong core. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release with the feet down to the mat close to the hips, hip width distance. Bring the hands to the mat behind you. Place the palms down and rise up to a tabletop pose. Inhale. Now find the height of your hips in this position. Keep the shoulders nice and open, lifting the heart. Stay, you can gaze at your navel to protect your neck. But if it feels nice for the throat, then lift your chin, open the throat, and gaze to the back. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring buttocks back down to the mat and lift your shins upwards again. For this second round, those of us that wish, support the shins or arms forward, knees bent, or legs straight, extending both legs without rounding your back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Extend the legs all the way down to the mat. Point your toes, legs straight, place hands on the mat behind you, and this takes you to a reverse plank position, Purvattanasana. Inhale, hips up, open chest. Again, gaze at your navel, that protects your neck. But if it's fine for your neck, then lift your chin, open that throat. Good, open throat, but avoid compressing into the back of the neck. Maintain length so that the neck feels comfortable. Hold for 5, 4, 3, the grounding of the soles of the feet needs the height of the hips and the openness of the chest for 2. And buttocks to the mat, exhale. 1 final round today, so lift yourself up to any variation of the boat pose that was comfortable for you, supporting the shins, knees bent or legs straight. And we are, for the last round today, going into a repetition-based practice. On the exhale, slowly round your back and find the grounding of the lower back down to the mat as you also lower the legs down. Beautiful. And then with your next exhale, strongly lift back up. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly release. Good, and then exhale up. Third one, slowly release. And then exhale up. Beautiful. Fourth one, slowly release. And then with the exhale, rise up, strong, straight spine. Good. Two more. As you release, you take the option to lift the arms overhead. Exhale, lift. Last one, release. Exhale, spine straight. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly release. Come down and rest the body on the mat. Slowly come down and take rest. Good. Beautiful engagement in the front line and in the back line of the body. And we have created so much length in our hamstrings as well. As well as we have awakened the muscles in the shoulder girdle and started to work on strengthening the triceps. We will put all this together in the exploration of the essential and intermediate level class practice of the tripod headstand. So bring the knees to the chest, hold the knees with both your hands and gently rock your way up to a kneeling position. Come up kneeling. So kneeling on the mat with the feet and knees together. Come to the center of the mat, please. Okay, so we will enter our first tripod headstand in the conventional way. So clasping the opposite elbows with the hands determines your shoulder width distance. Placing the elbows on the mat, that is where you are going to place your hands. So place the hands where your elbows are. Yes, and then guide the crown of the head down to create an equilateral triangle between head and hands. Good. Ensure that it is the crown of the head that is resting on the mat, not the forehead. And now slowly lift your knees off the mat and walk the feet forwards, forwards, forwards. Keep the elbows hugging close for the stability of the upper body and maintain that beautiful lengthening. You are engaged in the front line and the back line of the body. Good. Tiptoe the feet and see if you can even stack the hips. Now balance one knee over one tricep and the opposite knee over the opposite tricep. This takes you to the tripod egg position. Stay finding balancing here. Avoid too much weight on the head. Distribute equally between hands and head. And the neck is long as well as your spine. You can think about lengthening the tailbone upwards towards the ceiling. Now if it feels nice for you and if you feel strong, go ahead. Support this with strong shoulders and triceps and exhale to lengthen the tailbone upwards. And by straightening the spine, you are floating your knees away from the triceps. Stay in your tuck position like this. Or take your option, extend one leg at a time or both legs together to find the full expression. Mukta Hasta Sirsasana, tripod headstand. For 5, 4, keep the elbows hugging inwards. 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down slowly, slowly, and we arrive at child's pose position on the mat. Good, and as you rest, release the arms, allow the head to roll gently side to side, releases tension in your neck. Good. Prepare for round 2 of your practice. In this second round, feel free to continue to practice holding a tripod. If it means keeping the feet on the mat, then please take that option. If it means staying in your tripod egg position with elbows and knees together, the knees resting on the elbows, please feel free to do that. But today, if you wish to explore a transition, one of the transitions we have done in the intermediate level class, then first bring yourself up to tripod position and try to transition your way back to Chaturanga Dandasana. So find the option as we practice round 2 of our sequence. Let's begin. So first, your tripod shape. Lift the knees off the mat, walk the feet forwards. Elbows hug inwards. Stay here, or knees to triceps, or perhaps you want to lift up with straight legs in a beautiful pike press. Very nice. Elbows hug inwards. Broad shoulders. Beautiful front line engagement. Stay active in the back line of the body as well. Take the option, if you wish, return to your pike shape with straight legs, lower legs down, parallel with the mat. And then manage this beautiful transition by gently lifting the head. Very light, very beautiful, Lyndalou. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale to downward facing dog. You have transitioned from a tripod to a chaturanga dandasana. Good. Coming up on tiptoes and the inhalation. Exhale, knees to chest, look forwards. Let's jump through one more time to seated. Bridge pose. Lie flat on the mat. Walk the feet in close to the hips. Knees are bent. So the heels close enough that the hands are able to touch the heels. Good. Arms down the length of the body. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift up your hips. And clasping the hands together underneath the body, walk the arms together behind the chest. Find the foundation in the shoulders and the triceps. Good. Not just using your strong legs to find the height of the hips, but also lifting the heart upwards towards the chin to mobilize the upper body as well. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Carefully release the hips down to the mat slowly. Good. Your next pose will again require the foundation in your shoulders, just like in bridge pose. It is the basic level class pose we were exploring from last week, which is the Halasana or Plow Pose, followed by a Saravangasana, a shoulder stand. So begin by first lengthening the legs upwards in Viparita Karani, gentle inversion. Take the option, those of us today that are not ready to do an inversion, to just stay like this to gain all the benefits of an inversion minus the inversion. But if you wish, then rock the hips now up and over your shoulders and try touching the toes to the mat behind the body. Good. Clasping the hands together behind the back, just like a bridge pose position. Walking the shoulders underneath the chest, just like a bridge pose position. Good. This gives you the foundation on the shoulders and triceps and takes the weight off the neck and head. You keep the legs straight, but if the hamstrings are tight, knees can be slightly bent. You can curl the toes under the feet and keep the feet flexed to give you more space, or you can point the toes for a deeper stretch. You maintain as best as you can a lengthening of the spine, and you try to keep the hips stacked over your shoulders. Now stay here, or if you wish, then begin to support the upper back with your hands, keeping the elbows hugging close to each other, and explore extending one leg up at a time or both legs together. Beautiful Saravangasana. Very nice. Ensure that you are only looking upwards in this pose. Never turn the head left or right. That is for the safety of your neck. Ensure that you are always stable and have the foundations on the shoulders and triceps, maybe the elbows, but never the pressure in the neck or the back of the head. Take your option now, those of us that wish. Explore Karnapidasana. Lower down as if coming back to Halasana. Bend your knees and slowly bring the knees down on either side of the head and gently squeezing the head with the knees as you again clasp the hands together and draw the shoulders underneath the chest. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 vertebrae at a time. Slowly release. Unwrap the body. Unwind your spine. Take your time to come down slowly. And arrange the body on the mat. Arms and legs spreading out comfortably wide. Toes outwards, heels inwards, palms facing upwards, eyes gently closing. Conclude the practice in corpse pose, Shavasana. Give rest to the body. So thank you very much for joining us today. Keep practicing with joy in the body and peace in the heart. Namaste, and see you soon.